Hi everybody, my name is Jaden.
I'm Eli.
I'm Jason.
I'm Caden.
And we are the Torah YouTube channel.
And we almost spit that out the wrong way, but that's all right. We will continue on, and we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and we are deep into Revelations here. And before we get into this, well, actually, we'll get into it, and then I will go back to something here that is interesting, because there's a lot of things in this chapter that people seem to either not get or once we go through it, I think it'll be better for everybody. All right, so let's begin. Revelation 9. How you guys doing?
Good.
How's everyone? You guys alive? You got this dog at the door doing what dogs do, trying to get out. Dog cutting my leg, doing what dogs do. And for anyone who has never heard any of this series at all, we are the people who what, boys?
We believe that the laws, statutes, commandments, the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible are forever. They were never abolished. No disciple, no apostle ever got rid of them. The Messiah never got rid of them. The laws are still here, and we should be following them.
And when you say Messiah, who is our Messiah? Who do
We know him as Yehoshua because that is his Hebrew name, a Hebrew man. He wasn't born in America. He wasn't born in Greece. He was born in Israel.
Yeah.
So he's a Hebrew man. So his name is Yehoshua.
Hebrew man, right. Okay, so let's begin. This is going to be an interesting chapter. Let's discuss this, see what we can find. And the 5th messenger sounded, and I saw a star from the Shemaim, which had fallen to the earth, and the key to the pit of the deep was given to it. And he opened the pit of the deep, and smoke went up out of the pit, like the smoke of a great furnace. And the sun was darkened, also the air, because of the smoke of the pit. All right, so what's interesting though, yesterday we had a 7th messenger, right? There's all these different messengers. We have 7s of everything. Today we're dealing with a 5th messenger, and it says, and the 5th messenger sounded, which is a trumpet, and he saw a star from the heavens fall to the earth. And then it talks about a key of the pit of the deep was given to it. Now, what do we know of the pit of the deep? What is this potentially?
It could be Sheol, or it could be like hell.
Yeah, it could be a hell. We also know that some of the fallen angels were tossed down in holes with hurled and sharp, jagged stones. There's a lot of different things here. But when this happens, they open the pit of the deep, smoke comes out, and the smoke like a great furnace. So basically it's just a blackened smoke, and the sun was darkened, also the air, because of the smoke of the pit. Now, what do we make of this? Because if this happens let's say this happens in Geneva, right? The pit's open in Geneva and smoke comes out. Is it going to affect our sun here?
I would assume so.
I don't think so. I think it's too far away to see anything.
I don't think you would ever see anything. So if we were to see something like this, it would have to be a massive smoke. Like there would have to be smoke like you and they've had like in Iraq when the North Americans went in and attacked the Iraqis back in 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was. They used to light some of the Iraqis were lighting oil fields on fire, and they would go up to, because they didn't want the Americans to take the oil fields, they would flip the things over, light these things on fire, and it was nearly impossible to get these fires out. But the smoke coming off of it was just enormous. It was just everywhere. But we never saw anything in North America. We never saw anything anywhere. We saw it on the news, and we never ever saw any kind of smoke. And so this would be interesting. We don't know what we're doing. We're simply discussing what this could possibly be. Okay, 3. And out of the smoke, locusts came upon the earth, and authority was given to them as the scorpions of the earth possess authority. Okay? What do you guys make of this? Because pretty soon we're about to describe these locusts, and these locusts aren't like the little...
These locusts are strange creatures.
They are strange creatures. And so we know what a locust is. What is a locust, gentlemen?
It's like a big grasshopper.
Like a grasshopper, yeah, like a grasshopper. We've all seen them, and they are squishable. You stick them at the end of a hook for fish bait, and you toss them out, and you catch big fish with them, things of that nature. And they're not something that, by themselves we would probably be too scared of. However, there were plagues in Egypt with locusts as well. Okay, 4. And it was said to them that they shall not harm the grass of the earth, or anything green, or any tree, but only those men who do not have the seal of Yahuwah upon their foreheads. Okay, this is a huge thing right here. Number 1, grasshoppers eat green stuff. They eat the trees, they eat the leaves, they eat everything, they eat the grass.
Have to eat the people.
Yeah, these grasshoppers are told not to harm the grass. So nothing on the grass, earth, or any of that stuff is going to be taken over by them. And when you see a horde of locusts, you would understand that there's nothing left. The crops are all completely gone. Now, what are we talking about with this? It says, do not have the seal of Yahuwah up on their heads.
So a few chapters back, it talks about destructions happening and people and angels coming and destroying people. And it says first the angel must go down and still put the seal of Yahuwah on their forehead so they do not get killed or harmed.
Yeah, and so this is clearly something messengers go and they seal people with. Now there is a weird misconception that people will have. People believe that the seal is the name of Yahuwah, and that if you do not know the exact name of Yahuwah, you won't be sealed. Do we have any doctrine anywhere in scriptures of anything that says anything remotely to that?
No. The only thing it says is one name under heaven which may be saved, but that's Yehoshua, so it has nothing to do with Yahuwah.
Yeah, and so when we read this particular verse, you can't read this particular verse without reading the first 9 chapters of Revelations, because you can't pick and choose places to put your beliefs at. And so several chapters back, we literally had the angels that were saying, wait, you cannot run this destruction until we have gone out and sealed all these people. Now, whatever the seal is, I don't know if it is a vocabulary lesson or a English lesson or something that they go out and they sit there and teach people the actual name of Yah. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, right? Salvation is not found within a exact pronunciation of a name. Salvation is based upon us being obedient to the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, and the faith of Messiah Yahushua. If you do not believe Messiah Yahushua is the son of Elohim, and that is who is going, then you are rejecting the Father as well as the Son. So let's continue on. Now, this has zero to do with an enunciation or understanding, hi Hannah, understanding of the name that is there. So people that believe that if you don't understand the name of our Creator, if you think that you're hell-bound or you're not going to get this seal, that's not it. Our Creator is not coy like that. We don't even know his language. We don't know what he looks like. We will probably we'll never know his exact name until the time that we make it to our King in the Shamayim. Wherever we make it to Messiah Yahushua, he'll explain all of this to us. But it's not going to be people that have been deceived over all these years and can't figure out a name. Most people still call our Creator God, and that is a pagan term. That is just, there are many gods. We have one Elohim Most High, and we call him Yahuwah. I am that I am. Okay, now 5. And it was given to them that they should not kill them, but to torture them for 5 months. And their torture was like the torture of a scorpion when it stings a man. Now, we are dealing, this particular judgment is going to happen against people that are not sealed. The only way that you're ever going to be sealed, again, is by keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator and the faith of Messiah Yahushua. So that seal is where you're going to get that. And so if you're looking for any other way to get that seal, you're not going to get that. So what do we make of this, boys? They're going to torture man for 5 months, right? And again, it says their torture was like the torture of a scorpion when it stings a man.
What does a scorpion sting like?
It hurts.
That's pretty terrible.
It's not horrible, but it's not great.
It hurts for a little bit.
It does hurt. The smaller the scorpions are, the worse it hurts. I got stung a year or so ago, by a baby scorpion in my bed. And it was just the size of a quarter, and it really, really hurt. And then a year later or so, I got nailed by a big fat scorpion. And I would rather take the big fat scorpion over the little one. I guess the little scorpions are unable to allocate the poison or the venom or something that they put in you, so they just like rip it right in there. Whereas the big ones, they'll wait and try to get you a whole bunch of times. So it's not a good thing, right? It's a low impact bee sting, right? It's not like the North American bees that like when they sting you swell up and your face looks like a softball or something. Okay, let's continue on. 6. And in those days, men shall seek death and shall not find it. And they shall long to die, but death shall flee from them. Now, I thought this was right out of the gate. I thought this was the events of 20 2019 and 2020, because ever since those days, we have literally like 2 billion people that are extremely sick, very sick. Unlike any other time in this world that we have ever seen before, people are extremely sick. And they are begging, a lot of them are literally begging for death, and their sickness is so bad that they're just in misery, and it's a horrible thing. Now, even though that event relates to the events of 2020, I don't think this is what we're talking about here. I think this is yet another setup. This is another thing. And so even though people are right now seeking to die and they cannot die and they're just in agony, I do not believe this is that event. But that being said, they could have all been stung by the scorpion, and that could have been it. I don't know. So let's continue on. 7. And the locust looked like horses prepared for battle, and on their heads were crowns like gold, and their faces were like the faces of men. And they had hair like women's hair, and their teeth were like lions' teeth.
Now, are these locusts the size of grasshoppers still, or are they that big?
So that's what I was going to. That's when I was reading this morning. I was like, well, are we talking about these
detail
little, these little miniature things that we're looking at? I'm like, wow, this guy has like a, you're looking at. I'm in my hand. I'm showing like a dime. If you took a dime in your hand and you're looking at the inscription of the dime, is that the size of these things? I don't know.
We have like a giant horse-sized locust, like that just looks completely creepy.
Man locust, but I'll tell you, the thumbnail I have for this is completely creepy.
No.
It is really creepy. Okay, so anyway, we have these really creepy looking things. 9. Now this is where I'm gonna have to jump into some more explanation. 9, we'll go here first. And they had breastplates like breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots of many horses running into battle. And they have tails like scorpions and stings. And in their tails is the authority to harm men 5 months.
Does that sound right? And it's like scorpions and stings.
I don't know. Is that what you guys have said?
Yeah.
Well, we're the editors. We have to put what the book says.
I know, it sounds so weird. And they have tails like scorpions and stings.
Yeah, and I think it means like stingers at the end of their tails or something of the sort is what it means. But again, let's speculate on this. Are we talking about things the size of a little bigger than ants?
I think the base design is a locust, so it's small and like.
So we think it's a chicken, the size of a chicken. These things are chickens, or are we talking the size of a dog?
Because it said that their wings are like it sounds like horses. So if there's many of them, it's going to sound like horses.
Regardless, if it doesn't matter how many there are, if there's a lot of them and they're spinning around, and the size of them, they're all going to sound like.
Are these spiritual monsters? Or do you think they're just some end time monsters that Yah releases and is like, all right, let's just release the end times. Here we go.
I don't know, but they're terrible, and if they're big the size of like donkeys or something, you're not going to be able to stop these things. Now, if they're the size of like bees or something, and that's what they're still going to be.
The bug spray.
It's still going to be horrible. But it's 5 months of this, right? So people are trying to kill these creepy things for like a long time. Okay, 11. This is where it gets crazy, and this is where we're going to pause in a little bit here. And they have over them a sovereign, a king, the messenger of the pit of the deep, whose name in Hebrew is Abaddon, but in Yahwehite he has the name Apollyon. Now most people don't get this part. This part is extremely easy, and I will explain this, and I have to go into another thing here. Okay, so we have 2 names here, right? We have Abaddon, and we have Apollyon. And so the says in Yahwehite, which is Hebrew, right, Hebrew, that his name is Apollyon. How do you guys spell Apollyon in yours?
Yahwehite's Greek.
How do you guys spell Apollyon?
Apollyon.
UN. Okay, just checking. Okay, so let's take a quick look at this right here. And first of all, let me show you guys. Do you guys want to see the picture of the creepy thing that I found? What do you think of that? Oh, there's the locust. Isn't that creepy looking?
If that's a giant thing coming towards me, I'm not going outside. I'm not going outside.
That's the thumbnail that I'm going to use. It has a stinger like a scorpion. It has this creepy, evil-looking face. It almost looks like a Wonder Woman with fangs or some horrible thing like this. Anyway, that wasn't what I was going to. This is what I was going to right here. Now, we are about in Revelation 9:11. We are talking about our old, not to say old friend, but the old King Nimrod. King Nimrod was the king, the baddest king on the earth back in the days. And there was one language. There was the Hebrew language. Everybody was talking Hebrew. And they went to the Tower of Babel. And so King Nimrod is the baddest dude that ever did it. And he's sitting out there, and all of a sudden Yah and his 70 angels conflicts and changes all the languages. So all of a sudden, this guy whose name was King Nimrod, well, King Nimrod all of a sudden became 70 different names, because as languages change, so did their understanding of the name. And so King Nimrod himself, and this isn't the full list, because one of the names for King Nimrod is Apollyon. It is also, what is the other one in there? Abaddon. He also goes by Ares, Bacchus, Dionysus, Ares, Hermes, Pluto, Poseidon, Zeus, Kronos, and these are all, I think I'm breaking Torah by actually saying these names. I hope I'm not. I think I am, though. So let's ask for forgiveness when we're done on this, because this is very important that everyone understands that all these, like Tammuz, Moloch, Baal, when you say Lord, this lowercase Lord, every one of these names, including Apollyon and Abaddon, is Nimrod. And so let's head back up over to this. And when we are talking about King Nimrod coming out of a pit, what do you guys make of this? Go ahead.
I don't know why he's coming out of a pit. I don't know why he's coming back, but I guess he comes back, and I guess maybe he leads destruction on the world.
Well, people are always looking for an antichrist, right? And this is what the Christians believe. There's going to be one dude who gets up there who's the antichrist. And at the very end, I think probably like Satan himself will probably lead this, and that might be the antichrist. But until then, we are loaded with antichrists. There are tons and tons. And whatever happens here, the spirit of Apollyon comes back. And whatever it infiltrates or whatever it does, King Nimrod is back, according to Revelation 9:11. Okay, let's continue on. 12. The first woe is past. See, 2 woes are still coming after this. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how much more they can take.
And the 6th messenger sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before Elohim, saying to the 6th messenger who had the trumpet, release the 4 messengers, those having been bound at the great river Perath. All right, 4 messengers of death coming. And the 4 messengers, those having been prepared for the hour and day and month and year, were released to kill 1/3 of mankind. All right, well, hold on here, because a couple chapters back, we heard about the stars that were coming out. It basically killed 1/3 of the planet. They killed 1/3 of the world, right? It burned up the grass, and it killed 1/3 of the world. Is this another 1/3 of the world, do you guys suspect, or is this the same judgment?
I think they're here for the people this time. Like, I don't think anything else really killed too much of the people. I think the bitter water killed some people, but like 1/3 of the water destroyed, 1/3 of the grass, the other thing destroyed. But I think this is killing 1/3 of the people itself.
Didn't it already say it killed 1/3 of the people before?
I don't think it said 1/3. I think it said killed some who drank it.
It made the men were sick, definitely. But I thought we killed off, or was it 1/3 of the earth? It was 1/3 of the earth, right? Is it we burned up?
Yep.
Anyone with me?
Yeah, it was 1/3 of the earth.
Okay.
The
So
1/3 of the earth got destroyed, but I don't think it killed too many people.
okay, so now we are going to kill 1/3 of mankind, and so we have the killer locusts or the stinging locusts that have already been plaguing people for 5 months. Do you think this is at the end of the 5 months that this guy comes, the messengers that when it kills 1/3 of mankind, or is this during the 5 months? What do you guys think? Speculation.
I think this is after the scorpions. Maybe, I don't know. See, I think it's after. I think the messengers are all at different times.
I think like the punishment's coming in waves. I think it's like a waves thing.
And it's looking for repentance. I think it is looking for those who will seek our Creator after they're seeing these kind of things that are happening. Okay, so 1/3 of mankind is going to be released. 16. And the number of the armies of the horsemen was 200 million. And I heard the number of them. All right, so North America has, what is it, 300 million?
Yeah, 350 million people.
350 million people. So we're talking about the horsemen that are going to wipe out 1/3 of mankind. There's 200 million. And you can imagine Yah's horsemen are going to be fully equipped, and they're going to be able to do this job.
Sever says 200,000.
200,000, yeah. And that would make it 200 million, right? I think that would be it.
I think so.
200 million. Okay, 17. And this is how I saw the horses in the vision and those who sat on them, having breastplates of fiery red and hyacinth blue and sulfur yellow. And the heads of the horses were like the heads of lions, and out of their mouths came fire and smoke and sulfur. Wow, that's some creepy stuff,
these
right?
Animals, God just has like locked up or something, waiting for the end days.
Yeah, well, Leviathan and Behemoth, man, he'd send those things out and finish off whatever's left after this. Okay, so these things are real scary looking, right? They're monstrous looking things. The heads of the horses were like the heads of lions, right? So these things are just they're wild. 18. A third of mankind was killed by these three, by the fire and the smoke and the sulfur which came out of their mouths. All right. Essentially, it says he just kills a third of them with fire and smoke and sulfur. So did he burn them or suffocate them, or
like a firestorm on Earth, and it's just like so bad, like the toxins just killed everyone.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, this could totally be like some sort of meteor shower.
Like, it doesn't have to be them specifically. It could just be like something they caused or something that happened.
It says sulfur. Remember last time we heard sulfur was Sodom and Gomorrah, right? And there's still sulfur fields over where Sodom was. And interesting, very interesting. We don't have answers for this. We're just speculating. 19. For the authority of the horses is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails are like serpents having heads, and with them they do harm. All right, so
That's wild.
It says the authority of the horses in their mouths.
These animals get creepier every time.
Yeah, and so what do you guys make of this? What do we have in 19? It says, for the power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. Okay.
It's like a snake on a tail.
So are we talking like there are horses? These are the horses that these killer horsemen are on? Is this what we're seeing? Or are we just seeing horses? And I saw the horses in the vision. So I think we're just seeing horses that come out and kill everyone.
Yep.
Right? And the number of the armies of the horsemen. We're dealing with horsemen.
So I think these are horses they're riding.
Yeah, so
Some wild horses.
So the horsemen, yeah, so whatever they're riding the horsemen, the horses are extremely spooky kind of looking here. This is not something you're going to want to take on at any means.
17 says, and in my vision, the horses and their riders.
Oh, riders. Okay, and yours is what version was that?
So, Amplified.
Amplified Bible. Okay, so the horses and their riders. And so, well, we know that the horses look really spooky. Okay, 19. For the authority of the horses is in their mouth. Okay, I read that one. 20. And the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of the works of their hands, that they should not worship the demons and idols of gold and of silver and of brass and of stone and of wood, which are neither able to see, nor hear, nor to walk.
So they're not allowed to hurt the inanimate objects?
Okay, well, let's talk about this. These plagues and these judgments are not just to destroy mankind.
The idols as well.
It is, well, not just that. What else is it to do?
It's not.
It's to bring about repentance of those who are willing to submit, right? Because it says right there, the rest of mankind who were not killed by these plagues did not repent of their works. Okay? And it's interesting that it says that people are worshiping the demons. Who's worshiping demons? Who?
I'd say certain idols, probably idols or certain names. I'm sure there's demons. There's certain demons the higher rank that has names and stuff.
Now, I don't want to offend the Catholics, but if you are bowing down to an idol of Mary, that is kind of a, it may not be a demon in your eyes, but it is an idol of stone that does not move. And it is what we are told never, ever to get in front of. And it says people are sitting there. They're worshiping the demons, the silver, stone, brass, things, wood. Nothing is able to see, hear, or walk. And then the last thing, which is very, very interesting, is this. And they did not repent of their murders, nor of their drug sorceries, nor of their whoring, nor of their thefts. Okay, well, so we have whoring in there. We have thievery in there. But we also have drug sorceries in there. Now, what are drug sorceries?
Medicines?
Pharmakia. Anything that is in a lab that comes out is a drug sorcery. You might call it Tylenol, but Tylenol is still a drug sorcery. And even though you cannot, you can't even say the words that are on the side of what is inside of Tylenol, it is still a drug sorcery. Is it bad that we take Tylenol, you guys think?
It's probably bad for your health. It's probably bad for you.
It is. Yeah, it is. It isn't good. And why? You know, our Creator gave us. Remember Noah's book of medicines that everybody was after.
Yep.
That is what we need instead of pharmakia, right? When you're dealing with pharmakia, you're gambling. You're absolutely gambling with your life, and you're trusting man versus our Creator. And so for us in our house, I don't think we will ever take a drug transfusion. Or like a blood transfusion. I don't think we'll ever have anything like that. I don't think we'll ever partake in any kind of drug sorceries. It's very, very clear that in Jeremiah 50 and 51 that North America or Mystery Babylon is completely destroyed. And one of the reasons why it's destroyed is because of the sorceries and the doing what they do. And those with eyes to see and ears to hear know exactly what I'm talking about. And so hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully there's somebody out there that enjoys this reading. We certainly enjoy reading with you guys. We love you guys very, very much. We hope you guys have a wonderful day. And the next time we'll see you guys live is on Shabbat. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.